Hello, I'm here to bring you my Marauder build and exactly why I've done what I've done. I haven't been asked to do this. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do this for all my builds that I do actually like and run really well. So we're going to start off with my Marauder 5D. It's a full energy build Marauder. This Marauder has a couple of missile slots in the sides. So here's what I did and why. First of all, always, if I can spare it, give it Beagle Active Probe. That Beagle Active Probe has been the absolute MVP of me surviving. Not just because it increases spotting range, but it reduces the range at which ECM affects me. It reduces... It does all sorts of cool behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't really think about, right? BAP counters ECM soft, not hard. It doesn't hard counter, but it's a soft counter to ECM. For the mechs that have ECM, I still run BAP, because if they have BAP and ECM, it's always amazing. But in this particular instance, I cannot run an ECM Marauder yet, because I don't have the 9M, sadly. I'm saving up. 2.8 million. I've got to get 11 million. It's a slog. Okay, so we're going to move on. I went with a laser AMS. So the first reason is so I don't have to do ammo, right? I could theoretically run a regular AMS and a ton of ammo, and I'd have more ammo and have a regular AMS and wouldn't have to worry about the heat. But my heat generation is already relatively low, especially if I'm not firing all 4 of my light PPCs at the same time, and we'll get to that. So I run a laser AMS. Supposedly, an AMS is good enough to defeat 20 missiles that are shot at it, typically. And then I've got bonuses to AMS because why not? Just thought it would be fun. So I went with light PPCs. The light PPC statistics are amazing, right? And people don't talk about it. And I don't know why. So first of all, for 3 tons and 2 slots, you eliminate all minimum range of PPCs. You do half damage of a PPC, and you generate about half the health of a heat of a PPC. However, you also have less health per PPC. A light PPC has only 7.5 health versus a regular PPC's, 13 health. But honestly, negligible. It's whatever, right? And if you lose a light PPC, you only lose half the firepower of a full PPC, and you're still saving a full ton. You're saving a full ton. It fires faster than regular PPCs as well, but only by a second or so. Ugh, my neck. Ah. But that's okay. And it has about the same range statistics, same projectile statistics, all of that of regular PPCs. With the only exception being because there's 2 of them, you have to have the 4 slots instead of the 3 of a PPC. So here's what I would recommend, all right? If you can swing more than 4 light PPCs up to 6, I wouldn't recommend 5. But for every 2 light PPCs, if you can do it, it's a recommendation. Do it, right? Absolutely, right? Almost every build I have features a light PPC now because of 2 important factors. First of all, it's still a PPC. It counters stealth hard. PPCs, when you hit a stealth target, unstealth and cannot re-stealth for a few seconds. It is the best thing, right? So stealth countered, right? And you can fire them faster, so they're easier to counter stealth. They do a decent chunk of damage, 5.5. It's not as good as if you were running an ER medium laser. However, that 5.5 damage is instant on target. It does that 5 damage, right? And if you have 2 of them, that's 11 damage per shot, per volley from these light PPCs, right? 100%. I absolutely recommend that, right? So, if you have enough slots for 2 light PPCs and anything extra, I'd recommend 2 light PPCs. The only exception to that, I have a Cicada that features 2 light PPCs, 2 medium pulse lasers. I'll get to that in another video. But typically, 2 light PPCs. I went with 4 light PPCs on my MAD-5D because I like light PPCs, and it's fun. It is a very fun build. I don't feel inadequate. PPCs still hit hard, even light PPCs. They still blind people. They do all sorts of fun stuff, right? In addition to disabling ECM for a short time. And they have the same range characteristics, which is absolutely something you should consider. The reason I do not go with anything else is because snub-nosed PPCs have the same tonnage as 2 light PPCs for 1 less damage, 1 less heat, and a little bit more health. but at the cost of half the range. Not worth it. Not worth it. Just go with the regular PPC at that point, right? Take that tonnage or do 2 light PPCs. There is right now in the game no reason to run snub-nose PPCs unless you get specific quirks to snub-nose PPCs. That's all there is to it. It doesn't do enough damage. It doesn't do enough anything, right? There's no reason. It's 1 ton lighter, sure. It generates 1 less heat, sure. It's got the same cooldown, worse range, worse projectile speed, worse health. Just run the extra ton of PPC. Even if it is only 2 slots, you might as well run 2 light PPCs or a light PPC in its place because at least you get the range. And yeah, it's just a no-brainer to me, right? Heavy PPCs, I could see there being an argument being made for heavy PPCs. I haven't run heavy PPCs. I don't have a reason to run heavy PPCs right this minute. But I don't see why you couldn't, right? There's no reason you can't. I just want to put that out there, right? But if your choice is PPC or light PPC, or if your choices are 1 or 2 PPCs or 4 light PPCs, go for the 4 light PPCs. You save 2 tons, right? And that's more heat sinks, right? Or engine or whatever you want to do, right? That said, there can be something made, an argument made for ER large lasers and so on and so forth. It all depends on what you are specifically doing. However, this mech focuses on missiles for some reason, and so it doesn't matter what I do with it, right? It's got heat reduction, whoop-de-doo. And light PPCs have a reduced heat, and then you can go to skills and do all sorts of stuff with that. Heat generation max, cooldown max. Do I have max? I do have max armor and skeleton, just for brawling with these PPCs, and they mess people up. I've found that it's a little lighter in terms of raw damage output if you're hitting a target only once or twice. Obviously, right? It feels like you're hitting them with a single PPC shot, but that's what this is for. So you can put a lot of stuff here, right? I've put an ER PPC. However, there is an argument to be made for dropping 2 of these and going for a heavy PPC instead. Right? But I'm not going to do that. I don't need to do that, right? There's another argument to be made for a large pulse laser. Not a bad choice. It's a different type of damage. It's closer range. It does have a faster cooldown. That's the same as your light PPC, so it might actually be better. But it is... Oh, no, it's even... Oh. Okay. Well, I'm going to switch that and keep that. And you get an extra slot. I don't know if there's anything you can do with that extra slot right now. Like, maybe you want to spread out your AMS ammo or something. Or you want to do actual missiles, right? Alright. What are the rocket launcher 20s for, right? That's probably what you're asking. Okay, so this is a missile boat. Well, it tries to be kind of a sort of a missile boat. It likes having missiles that are actually reloadable. However, tonnage is a problem. And I don't see SRM2s being worth it. Streak SRM or regular SRM2s, right? These are 1.5 tons. They do have a minimum range, but they do 40 damage per launcher for 1.5 tons. That means in a single instance, I can make anybody regret facing me for a split second, and that's all you need, right? And I can do that twice. Because 40 damage to anybody in an instance is a lot of damage to deal with, even if it doesn't all hit once, right? I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double heat sinks. And that's how I keep as cool as I do. And 1.4 out of 2 is really good cooling, relatively speaking. Something else. Endosteel. 100 times out of 100, right? I don't run ferrofibrous. It's not worth the tonnage most of the time. It's just not worth the tonnage. Because ferrofibrous provides 12% more protection per ton. Whereas endosteel is just 5% of your maximum tonnage. At 75 tons, I save a decent chunk, right? A decent chunk, right? And that's what I recommend. I run a standard for 300. It just keeps the Marauder's main speed, right? And then I have speed boosts, whatever, right? A Marauder is not a heavy mech. You could theoretically drop a heatsink, drop the large pulse laser or something, and go a higher or an XL or something. You could do all sorts of stuff with it if you wanted to. I don't recommend it. That's just my thoughts on it, right? That's just how I feel about this. I could see you replacing these rocket launchers and like dropping the large pulse for something much smaller and putting like LRM-10s on it, and it would be fine. It wouldn't be atrocious to do, right? Let's see, you'd have to save another dot and then another one of those, and then you'd need to, I don't know, probably an ER medium laser or another light PPC. Oh wait, no, you can't do that, damn. So grab the ammo you want, right? Yeah, you could do it, it's just I wouldn't recommend it. Again, I think the rocket launcher is the best option in this slot. That's just me, that's my opinion. They come in clutch. In fact, you'll see me absolutely devastate a direwolf with it because, you know, I can. It's great. 10 out of 10. And that's my Marauder 5D build. I'll be clear, I'll be honest. The 5D has been something I struggle with as far as mechs go. And we'll get to it. Another video I'm going to do later. I'm not going to do it tonight or anything, but another video is my 5M is probably my favorite mech. I used to run a Rack 5, but I think they nerfed him a little bit or something. And then I have a 3R as well. And between them, the 5M is still my favorite, but the 5D has grown on me recently with the new sound mod and this light PPC build. And I'm going to try this large pulse laser out. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoy it enough to give it a like or whatever. I hope you guys want to keep track of what's going on with my channel. I plan on regularly uploading at least a video and at least one stream regularly. I do have a Discord. You can see it in my bio. If you want to join, it's open to everybody. I don't mind. I try to be active, and I hope you guys have a nice day and night or whatever, and just, it's all right. Everything's great.